Welcome to the Hairpreneur Show, where hairdressers get the tools they need to make more money, enjoy more freedom, and live a more purpose-driven life. Join me, Ryan Whedon, as I coach you with new ideas, winning habits, and proven strategies designed to unlock your personal greatness. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Let's go! Hey guys, welcome back to the Hairpreneur Show. I'm your host, Ryan Whedon. This week's episode is all about what we learned during quarantine. Some of us may have created some really bad habits and sunk into a deeper level because of the stress, because of the hardship, and I totally get that. Some of us may have started some actually positive habits, some things that they have found, maybe they reprioritize some things, and that has helped them to do maybe even great things that they didn't know that they could even do or accomplish during quarantine. And then there are some people that realize what they were doing has been working the whole time. So my big question for this, what I want you to take away from this, and I'm going to talk about it during this episode, is what have you learned during quarantine? What are you going to start doing after quarantine? What are you going to stop doing after quarantine? And what are you going to keep doing that's working after quarantine? These are important questions to ask ourselves at different points in our life when we are trying to move ahead, when we start new projects, when we have new challenges in life. Maybe we get overwhelmed, maybe we become stressed out, and we want to solve that problem. We want to find a way through it. So we need to ask ourselves these three questions. What's working, what's not working, and what am I going to do to fix it? The easiest way to approach this is to look at the three questions I mentioned right away in this podcast are when you look at your habits, because habits and consistency of habits is what really creates success down the road. There's not really a thing called overnight success. It might look like overnight success to people that maybe are stumbling upon somebody that is very successful, that maybe they just came out of nowhere. Like we've all seen that a movie and this actor came out of nowhere and they're astonishingly good. And you're like, wow, this person came out of nowhere. They must have met the right person. They must have just stumbled into this role or been discovered. But I got to tell you that 99.999%, unless it's a studio head's son or daughter that they just gave the part to, which usually doesn't happen, they've worked very hard. They've spent years and have gotten experience. They've taken training to become the successful actor, given this opportunity that they were able to shine in. Same thing goes for entrepreneurs and hairpreneurs and people that are growing their business and wanting to create something bigger than themselves. We need to look at our habits and the consistency of habits. We need to maybe every quarter, every 3 months, it's a good idea to look at what's working, what's not working, and how to fix it by asking the questions and looking at your daily habits, your success habits. Well, let's just say that not all habits are good habits. We know that. We all have vices and things like that. But it's okay to have a few bad habits here and there. It's okay. I have mine. We all do. But do we have enough good habits that's going to keep us moving forward? And we need to ask ourselves, when we look at our habits, we need to ask ourselves, what should I start doing that I'm not doing now? What should I stop doing that's hindering my success? And what's working? What should I keep doing because it's working? And if something is working, you want it to keep working. So these are the questions you need to ask yourself. What am I going to start? What am I going to stop? And what am I going to keep doing to get me closer to my goals? To that vision that's shining bright in my head. Let me clarify this a little bit more by using myself as an example, because it's one thing for me to tell you what I've learned and what to do, but if I don't give you a real life example, it might be hard to understand and make it understandable so that you can say, oh, that's a good reference for me. Now I know how to apply it to my own life, because in theory it's one thing, but understanding real life scenarios is something very different. So, okay, what did I learn during quarantine? Which is what I'm applying this to now. And yes, I do every few months. I look back at what habits are working, what's not working, and what I'm going to keep doing to keep myself moving forward. So looking at quarantine, I changed a lot of habits. I've done a lot of things differently like we all have. And when quarantine hit and we decided to stay home, I knew that I needed to change my daily behavior. I didn't want to totally uproot my entire life, and I had been working from home for a while, so I do have some kind of an established routine. But then, of course, we had to postpone all of our Masters of Balayage classes. We had to close our salon, so things had to change. Initially, when I looked at my schedule and my habits from previous, I realized that I overworked myself, that I was so focused on work that I had no time for myself. So when quarantine hit, I decided that health and fitness of both my physical body and also my mental health was really important, something I wanted to start applying to my daily life. Now I had time for it, so I figured why not? It's something I wanted to do for a long time, and I figured why don't we just make time for myself each day and do something that's good for me. So I started doing that, and oh my gosh, it has really changed so much. I feel healthier, I feel more fit, my mind is more energized, and I feel so much more relaxed than I ever have before. I needed that at first because I was stressed out. I realized that with the worrying about the money not coming in like it was and closing businesses and postponing classes, that was a big stress factor. So I had to find a way to limit my stress. One of the best ways was to start going for jogs and burning off that excess stress. And in the result of that, as a result of that, I became a lot healthier in mind and body. And that is something that not only did I start doing that I wanted to do that I had been putting off, but I'm going to keep doing after quarantine. I realized the importance of mental and physical fitness for my energy levels, for my overall health, and feeling good, feeling inspired. It's all part of that. It stems from that part, that habit, that success habit in my life. So that is one thing that I did start, and that would answer that one question, what am I going to start doing? And that was be more physically fit. And then what am I going to keep doing after? And it's the same thing because it keeps working. So two different questions answered by one successful habit. Now, if I look at what am I going to stop doing, it's funny how a lot of times those particular answers are one and the same, where what did I want to stop doing? I wanted to stop being so stressed out all the time. I wanted to stop burning the candle on each end. I wanted to start getting more sleep. I wanted to stop the stress cycle like a lot of us feel, because somebody that is prone to depression and anxiety like I am, I was tired of being tired. I was tired of being anxious. I was tired of panic attacks. So I wanted to find a way to mitigate that. What did I want to stop? I wanted to stop eating so much junk food. I wanted to stop watching so much news. I wanted to stop feeding these projects and feeding my mind and my being and my soul with things that weren't necessarily important. To do this, I started really scheduling my priorities for the day. I didn't try to get 400 things done in one day. I decided to space things out because one thing I've learned very recently and continue to learn is that you don't need to get everything done right away. You're going to kill yourself trying to do it. Space it out. Give yourself time to make it better than just getting it done. And yes, sometimes done is better than perfect, but I still want to take it and make it as perfect as I can before I feel comfortable releasing something into the world. And just an example of that is I'm going to be releasing very soon Hairpreneur School, HPS, which is going to teach hairpreneurs how to be successful in today's world. It's homeschooling for hairdressers. It's going to be like a rocket ship to success. It's the school and the training and the education that we should have been taught in school that we never were. We were taught how to do hair and cosmetology school. We were taught how to do sanitization and a bunch of different things just to pass an antiquated exam date to get a license, but we weren't told how to be successful out of the gate. And then outside of cosmetology school, I went to high school, graduated. I went to college, graduated. Nothing that I learned in any school growing up taught me how to be an entrepreneur, taught me how to run a successful business. You took your basic classes and that was it. Nothing prepared me to be where I am today. Nothing prepared me for a life faced with challenges, and how to have courage and how to have vision and how to grow a company to live with financial freedom. They didn't tell me how to avoid credit card debt. They didn't tell me how to make money, basically. They just said, this is what you need to do to get into a good college, to get a good grades, to potentially go to grad school. They basically taught you how to be a student forever. And then if you're lucky at the end of that, maybe you can become a lawyer or a doctor or an engineer. Something with a stable career, a stable income, which, by the way, there's nothing stable in the world. The most reliable business in the world is one that you create for yourself, because you can count on you and you can trust in you, and your success is your responsibility. So that's what Hairpreneur School is going to be about. That's what it's going to teach you, and it's going to be the most affordable coaching program on the planet. But I wanted to release that about a month ago, and this is going back to what I was talking about, creating less stress in my life, removing stress in my life. I wanted to release it weeks ago, but I didn't feel ready for it. I want this release to be amazing. I want it to be Ryan inspired. I want to feel proud of it, and I didn't want to just throw it out there half-assed. Do I have to make this a R-rated now because I said ass? I don't know. I'm going to see what they say. Hopefully I won't get flagged. But I'm pushing off the release date, the launch date, until June 1st. So that's going to give me about another month to really dial it in, to make it ready to launch, so that everybody has an incredible experience, so that we have members that are so excited and proud to be part of this. Ugh, my dogs suck. Hey, real life, you work with what you got, right? This is me in my studio, and I've got barking, annoying dogs. But moving on, I'm going to remove stress from my life, and that is an example. I'm just going to push things out. Time doesn't matter as much, because if it comes out tomorrow, if it comes out a month later, if it comes out in 6 months, I want it to be perfect, or as close to perfect as possible. I want it to be great. I want to be proud of it. So I'm willing to wait a little bit longer instead of rushing it out. And because I'm doing that, once I set a date to June 1st, once I pushed it out, I felt a sense of relief that I have some time, that I have some preparation days ahead of me, so that I can make sure it is all dialed in, so that I can make sure that it's not done half-assed. I want this to be something that is going to be like the school you've never had before. And to do that, it's going to take some time. What I'm getting at is that stop trying to get everything done right away. If stress is something that you need to limit in your life, then take some time and make sure that you work toward your dream, but don't put unrealistic timelines on yourself and unrealistic pressure that's going to stress you out, that's going to make you anxious. And that is something that I am going to stop doing after quarantine. And then maybe I could just say I'm going to continue to stop doing it after quarantine, because I have seen the benefits and the positivity that comes out of not being stressed out all the time. It's a wonderful feeling. And then at the end of the workday, I can close my office and I can be my full present self with my wife and my little one and my new little one on the way. So that's where I want to focus my time. I want to give my best self to my family, and yes, to the annoying dogs as well. Those are some quick examples of how I have adjusted my schedule in my life, and I'd love to hear how you did as well. Please take a screenshot of this episode and comment on your story. Tag me in it and let me know what you've done differently, what you have decided that you're going to start doing after quarantine, what you're going to stop doing after quarantine, and what's working that you're going to continue doing to help you, your family, and your business move forward into better, greener times. I wish you all the best, and we'll see you in next week's episode. If you get a chance, please share this with a friend so that they can hopefully benefit from this as well and grow their business and their company and their mindset and their productivity and everything that the Hairpreneur Show stands for. And as well, if you get a chance, I would absolutely love a positive recommendation on the iTunes podcast here. I don't know how to do that exactly. I know I've done it before, but you guys are smart, and I would absolutely love to hear some positive feedback. You guys are amazing. You're awesome, and I'll see you next week.